Just talk about the positive start to the year.
Yeah, it's good to come into a season after what's a pretty long preseason and get a result, get 3 points, especially the start of 7 games on the road, and it makes preseason worthwhile, and it also gives us a good little boost as we continue to go on these road matches. So we'll take it. We thought we did some good things, but we also thought we did some things that we need to improve upon, and as we will all year, keep trying to get better every day.
This team is very much a work in progress. Did anything surprise you about them first time out, for real?
Nothing surprised me. I mean, I thought actually some of the things that we had seen over preseason we saw in the first game, whether they be good or bad. We just need to increase the amount of good moments we have and decrease the amount of bad moments as we progress through the season. Hopefully, faster than slower. So. But no, I wasn't overly surprised. We have some very talented players, and for us, the job is to give them the opportunity to be successful in each and every game, and as such, make adjustments as we need to based on how the game is playing. Every game is different, and spaces are in slightly different spaces or places around the field, and we just have to recognize where those are and get our guys in the right places to take advantage of it.
Obviously, a big game for Altidore. You mentioned that in the dressing room afterwards. He looks like somebody who really could do a lot of damage if you get him to the ball in the right places.
Yeah, I mean he has lots of facets to his game. He's obviously a big, strong guy. You saw that on the goal. He got taken down for a PK, and he brings the ball down with class, but then he uses his body to protect the ball and gets taken down. That's what a big guy does, and so he's able to hold things up. He's able to get in behind players. His feet are soft. He can take you one-on-one to get goal-scoring chances. So he's got a lot of facets to his game that make him very dangerous, and he's hungry right now because he wants to score goals. So that makes him a handful.
You're looking forward, not back, but do you shake your head at what happened to him in Sunderland?
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed for him, but I think it's our benefit, I guess, at this point, right? Because he ends up here, and I think he has a ton of attributes that can make him successful and will make him successful, and we'll take advantage of that. But he's a great guy, he's a hard worker, and he's a good player, so we'll benefit from his services for sure.
How has Sebastian adjusted to life in MLS now? He's seen his first game. Is he feeling it?
Yeah, I think every game, in my opinion, he's going to get better, right? He's got to get a feel for, first of all the different stadiums and surfaces. Last week was obviously turf and sort of a closed stadium and just a different feel. The first game, how's pressure going to come, in terms of the physicality, getting used to the speed of the league and some of the things that are maybe different than exactly where he was. So as he makes those adjustments, he's only going to get better, but like I said, he wows us every day with some of the things that he pulls off, so we just look forward to the things that he's going to accomplish over the course of the year. But I do think he'll get better as the season goes on, as he gets a better feel for everything.
There are a number of free kick takers on this team, but is it established that he's going to be the first to have a crack at net?
I think he's maybe established that amongst the group. It's not anything that I've jumped in and said, he's taking them. For me, free kicks is about confidence and who sees what they think they can get out of it. And so he's established that. I mean, watching him in training, as we have several guys who are very consistent and picking out good spots on free kicks. So we let them sort it out as the game goes and whoever's feeling it. And, for me, I sit on the bench and hope it goes in the back of the net.
What about... No, go ahead.
No, as you look to take on the Columbus Crew, what can you tell us about Greg Berhalter and maybe your time back when you were on the U.S. men's national team?
Yeah, actually, Greg and I think, are the same year. We grew up together playing with and against each other, and he's a smart player. He was a very smart center back. He has his team well organized, and tactically they're good, and they're good in possession. They tend to dominate some possession most of the time, but for us, they pose a different challenge than Vancouver, and we'll have to make the adjustments accordingly, and look for our opportunities and try to create our opportunities to make them have to defend us and get chances on goal. So, but Greg has done a great job, I think, with that franchise, and has done a great job getting his team out on the field and getting them organized. I thought they played very good soccer last year, and I suspect nothing different from them this year.
How do you try to contain a playmaker like Igor? I mean,
well, he's a guy who he moves around the field pretty freely, so it's hard to, if some people like to go man on man, it's hard to do that with a guy who moves so much. So I think you have to be clearly aware of where he is at all times, just because his ability to get on the ball and pass out of different spaces on the field is excellent. So minimize space, know where he is at all times, and do your best to try to read any actions or runs that are going to come off of him, so that you can deal with the runners as much as you can deal with sort of the point of the service wherever he picks up the ball. But he's clearly a guy who can hurt you if gaps open up and the timing of runs are there. We just need to be very careful of opening ourselves up.
It seems like your fullbacks have got an even more important role this year. Would that be fair to say, and you expect a lot from them?
Yeah, I mean, they have an important role. I was once a fullback, and I like to think of myself as an important player on the field, so I passed some of that on to them. But I think fullbacks sort of in the modern game are expected to also provide some attacking prowess for you, but then also have the responsibility of getting back and helping to defend and help cover the center backs at times. And so for our guys, we expect them. We think they're all capable of getting forward. We think they're all good in possession. We think that their ability to get deep into the attack and get crosses is all there. So I don't think we're asking them to do anything they're not capable of doing. I just think we like to use them and get as many players into the action as possible. We don't want too many guys just sitting back and killing space, if you will.
Greg, you've spoken a lot about the playing between lines, playing in transition. How might that work with Sebastian Giovinco? Do you expect him to play in between those spaces, or would you like him playing more, I guess, marking a man, waiting for the ball, and then beating him one-on-one?
Yeah, I think for him it's to get a feel for what's happening around him. You know, he's a clever player, and I think a player like him, his strength is to get into little pockets, right, and to get on the ball and get on the turn and face forward, and whatever that means, it's getting him facing the goal. He's a good goal scorer. He's also a good playmaker. So for us, it's our job to get him into areas where he can see the goal. Ultimately, we don't want him facing our goal all the time. That's for sure. So however that happens, that's our objective. Is ways to get him facing the goal, as it is for Josie and everybody else, really.
Sorry, one more for Greg, guys.
Greg, Joe Bendik had a strong first outing. This is his first season as the incumbent goalkeeper. Do you like his level of confidence at this point?
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great all preseason. I think this past game he made some key saves for us. I think his presence is getting better as he continues to get matches and get consistent matches and approach sort of 100 games in the league, which I think is important for goalkeepers because you get different looks all the time. I think he's gaining confidence and also getting connected with our back group, which is a little bit new in terms of adding Damien and Warren out there right now, but getting all of them connected, I think, is a big bonus for us as we continue to play matches. But Joe's been great, and as long as we want to give him as little looks as possible, but if he can come up with the saves that help us at the right moments, then he's doing his job, which is what he did for us last week.
Could I just ask one TFC2 question?
Sure.
Given the announcement today with the 8 signings, you've obviously spent a lot of time in your career working with youngsters and academies. How important is this second team going to be, do you think, in the overall scheme of things? It perhaps won't get the attention the first team will, obviously, but in the background, I would imagine that you see it as playing a pretty key role.
Yeah, it's critical for 2 reasons. One is, at times, especially in upcoming weeks, we have bye weeks, and we want to keep guys sharp. Maybe guys who aren't playing all the time with the first team, we want to keep their fitness level up. We want to keep them match sharp, and we have opportunities to just loan them and for them to get some matches. And secondly, and maybe most importantly, is the development of players for the future of our team, and to be able to have them within our system and here at Kia Training Ground and learning what we're doing and being in the environment that we're setting up. It's an easier transition for them to move from academy to the TFC2, get some professional games under their belt, and move into the first team. It's not as big a jump, and I think it's vital for the future of the program and for future of young Canadian players as well, because that's the bulk of the makeup of our group.